Hey guys, welcome back to Waters Family Homestead. This is Michael, and I'm just sitting out here by the chicken pen watching the chickens scratching the Cornish cross, sit down and do nothing. But there's a couple of topics that I wanted to talk about, and one is, you know, I've said it before, I'm gonna say it again. I've never been a huge Trump fan personally. I don't have to like him personally. I like his politics. He got the job done, even though he was fighting uphill the entire time. Imagine what he could have done if we had Congress and the Senate supporting what he was doing. Imagine how much better things could be. But, all hundreds and hundreds and probably thousands of channels and news agencies, so-called news agencies out there, and they've got this so-called new evidence against Joe Biden and Hunter Biden and whoever else, where $5 million each was taken as pay-to-play bribes. You're gonna give us this money, then we're gonna influence this legislation. So they've got proof. Now, I just want to ask a question about this. Do you think really that they're going to do anything about it now? Ain't no way. First of all, they've known about it since apparently 2016. Y'all realize it's 2023, right? That's 7 years. They've known about this crap for 7 years and haven't done a dang thing, and they're not going to. But they're going to indict or try to prosecute Trump for crap that's literally not even a crime. They changed laws in New York, they changed laws in Florida so that they could indict him on things that no one else has been charged for because it's not a legitimate law. And once this is over with, they'll do away with it again. They just needed a law to where they could try to do something. It's bullcrap. But on top of that, guys, they've known about this crap 7 years. It's not going to get any better. They're never going to do anything about it. All these Congress people and senators tweeting and all this mess about what they need to do or going to do, I ain't seen nothing of you. They're not going to. They've known about it for 7 years. They're not going to do it. Period. Don't get your hopes up. It's time for the American people to stand up and let them know we're not going to tolerate it anymore. And then I was watching another channel that I follow, a guy that I respect very much. We don't agree on everything, but there's about 95% of what he says I do agree on. Maybe 90. Their housing, they've taken an old prison in New York City and turned it into housing for illegals. And they're housing a little over 500 men in this thing. A few of those men, a small percentage, have gotten jobs and are working, making money. But a large percentage of them aren't even working. They're saying that they're going across the road into, the whatever the big park is up there, and harassing women and drinking and doing drugs, and then they're going back into their free housing, and they're getting benefits from the government. They're getting checks monthly from the government while they're staying there to do nothing. And guys, we're talking about well over 500, and all of these men are between the ages of 20 and 50. Fighting age men. Healthy men. And they came here and they're just living off of our tax dollars. And there is another one that's doing the exact same thing. They're trying to take one of the Kennedy hangars or something and turn it into house another 500 plus 20 to 50-year-old age men. And they're getting the check every month as well. Guys, where, when, who the heck decides they're going to take money from us working people and give it to people that came here illegally, couldn't even go through the legal process? Now, that's a double-sided coin that I'm talking about, because I believe it is far too difficult or too expensive, not difficult, but expensive, for someone that wants to come into this country legally and become a U.S. citizen. It takes, I've got a few friends that's done it. It takes up to $20,000 for them to legally do it, and it takes years. We've got to streamline that process and reduce the cost of it to make it more affordable for people to be able to do that. It doesn't need to be free. If you can't afford something, you don't need to come. You need to stay where you are. But this is insanity at its finest. Taking U.S. dollars and giving it to healthy 20 to 50-year-old men that could get out there just like me and you and get a job and work and support their family. But no, they're coming here and we're giving them our money. How many of you think that we've already been invaded? The militaries of our enemies are already here. Illegal Chinese aliens, illegals, has went up about 900% in the last year and a half. 900%. And there is 10 times more people getting into the country that they don't even know about than the ones they're catching. And then they're turning them loose and giving them a free cell phone and free taxpayer money and free room and board. And I mean, think of this. If what I'm saying is true, okay, think about it. If our enemies have already sent their military-age men here and they plan to do harm to the United States, their military's flooding in across the southern border at ridiculous rates, and we're paying to take care of them. While, I mean, we're paying for their housing, we're paying for their electricity, for their water, for their sewage, for everything that you and I pay for out of our working paycheck, we're giving it to them for free. And just that chance that it's freaking other country's military, when they're ready to strike, what the heck are we going to be able to do about it? Y'all, this is insanity. Our corrupt government, and I'm not talking about Democrats or liberals or Republicans, I'm talking about all of them. All of them. They're giving our country away. And it's going to be the patriots, the true Americans. It's going to be on our shoulders in the very near future to take our country back from the militaries that have come in across the southern border and are waiting for their orders to strike. Don't forget, there's 60,000 pounds, 30 tons of ammonium nitrate that they don't know where it is. Over 10 times the amount that was used in the Oklahoma City bombing. 10 times. Guys, at what point in time do the American people, patriots, need to stand up and say, this shit's stopping now? See, what they did with the January 6th bullcrap is they've still got people jailed for doing nothing wrong. But what they did, it ain't about how long those guys are in jail, which they should all be released. Don't get me wrong. I support them 1,000%. But what they did was they scared the average, normal, working age American man and woman to even try anything else. How much worse is it going to have to get before we say it's got to stop and we've got to stop it? Because they're not going to. They're doing it on purpose. It's insane. Just like the New York City mayor saying he wants to pay people to rent out their spare rooms to the illegals that are coming in, up to $4,000 a month per person. Well, how many of his families and friends, relatives, are going to say, yeah, I got an extra 2 rooms or 3 rooms, and never let a person in there? But they're going to collect that check. How often do you think that's going to happen? Guys, we are being screwed by this illegal government that we have. This country is already gone. It's not about when we've got to take it back. I mean, if. It's about when. This is ridiculous, guys. Remember what I always tell you. Jesus loves you. So do I. Y'all be safe. Be prepared. It's coming. They're sending their military in plain clothes, and our government's paying them to sit there and wait and live for absolutely nothing for free, waiting on their orders to strike so they can take the world's greatest country down. It's my belief. And that's why my shirt says freedom matters. I love y'all. See ya.